Unmuted. Here we go. We're starting.
I'm glad that you could add the unmuted to the beginning of this podcast, so everyone got to hear that when they're clicking in. Welcome, everybody. This is weird not having my ears.
Do you feel like a nerd?
I feel weird.
You're such a nerd with your headphones. This is how I feel every time.
Dude.
Like a nerd. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were in something special.
We went to our first ever roller derby tonight. I was expecting a little more intensity.
Have you noticed how handsome I am?
Oh, my gosh. Everybody knows you're handsome.
That's like crazy.
How come the chat won't just like stay on? That's stupid.
What is that? What are you watching?
I am live on Facebook first time. I usually do TikTok, but TikTok is stupid. Nobody talks to you and it's like dumb. So
True that.
Today we're going live on Facebook.
I got my Red
first
Bull.
One.
I got my vodka.
There we go.
We're about to get topless on a table.
So we went to our first roller derby because I have a friend from the gym that does it. And I was like, I think I want to be a roller derby girl because I want to like skate all hardcore to like hardcore music and stuff and just like zoom, zoom and be really cool because I think they're super cool and like sexy.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be about that life too. And then.
I mean, she was really fun to watch. I like watching her, but.
No comment.
I would just be more excited with like, loud, crazy music, a longer circle. So they have more like,
dude, I just want to see more blood. And
more
gore.
blood.
Like,
I was definitely expecting more blood. How come this keeps turning?
I don't know. I'm enjoying your struggle though. I can see Brittany is doing laughy faces and maracas.
Should
Scissors.
I send an invite to Lucas? No, I got it. Just the comments keep going away, but whatever. I'm not gonna. Maybe if you comment, it'll pop up. Who knows? Or maybe it's because it's yours and not mine.
Just give it to me. Maybe I can figure it out.
Of course you can.
Freaking goober. Freaking goober. What are we talking? Hey, welcome to Marriages for Quitters.
Marriages for Quitters.
Where we learn to love.
And we learn to get married and quit smoking.
Yep. No more cigarettes.
No more cigarettes.
Today is your last one.
Bad.
I haven't had a cigarette.
Ew. Did you really used to smoke? I would not.
I used to go back and forth from smoking to chewing to smoking to chewing.
I'd rather you smoke than chew. That's for sure.
Really? Ew.
Yeah.
Chewing is so much better.
No, it's not. You want this?
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's sexy,
is this
bro.
Sexy?
Yeah, that is.
Sexy,
dude, there's nothing. You can't tell me there's nothing like more rugged and handsome.
This is so gross. It's still, and you're like, you have a little spit jar. That's so nasty.
That's
you
not
have to
nasty.
carry it around. It's
That's
disgusting.
American.
And then you
That's
lose all your
American.
teeth. Ugh.
You're about to lose all your teeth. You keep this. This up. You just gotta keep. You gotta.
Okay, the rest of the podcast, I'm gonna do this.
Then you gotta go.
It's so gross. It's so ugly, and I'm too classy for that.
You are not as classy as you think you are.
For chewing tobacco. Yes,
I've seen the things you do in the bedroom. You are not that classy.
You didn't fix it.
You're classy
How
with
about
a
that?
KLASS. What is that? The South Park episode, classy.
I don't know Brittany because he stole the phone because he thought he could help me, but he didn't.
Wah, wah. Just keep tapping it. That's all you gotta do is tap it.
Tap it.
Tap it.
Tap, tap, tappity tap. Okay.
Yes.
Tonight.
Tonight.
So I'm not that tired, but
so I'll set this world on fire.
It is late for him because Mr. over here goes to bed at like 8 o'clock now because he wakes up at 5 a.m., which so do I. Well,
I haven't started to lay down at 8:30 so I can try to fall asleep at 9.
Yeah.
I'm getting pretty good at it. I'm getting pretty good at waking up at 5.
You are, actually.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how good you're doing.
Well, I never had to. See, I can do anything that I have to do or that I want to do. It's if I don't have to or want to, then I just won't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I always set the alarm at 5 because it's like I want to get up and then get my workout done and then have like extra time. That never happens. I'm still always like rushing out the door. 5 is hard. Anyways, we're talking tonight about...
What are we talking about?
raising your children in faith, like, do you force them to go to church? Do you not force them? Do you, what do you do when they present the like, I don't want to believe in God, and as they get
You
older,
punch them in their stupid head. You tell them,
Punch 'em in their
Jesus
face.
loves you, idiot.
There we go. We're done with the podcast.
Yep, podcast done.
Bye. Shortest one ever.
All you needed to know. Jesus loves you, idiots.
So we've been having like guest speakers, guest couples come on.
I don't like them. No more guests. They're stupid. I hate them.
Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
I love every single one of them.
Except for that one.
That one?
You know that one?
Does she look like me? I'm just kidding.
Wow, you said she.
Oh.
Now you gave it away. Oh.
Yeah,
She said you got no penis. What?
Oh my
Got it. Well, considering they're both all couples. No, there's no actual any person. I was just talking to my buddy, my guy who just quit the job in Grand Rapids, and he was all like forced to go to Catholic church his whole life, and like 3-4 days a week forced to go. Yeah, and he's not religious. Like, he was very understanding. Like, when I talked about it, he wasn't like, "Yo, F that's dumb." But he was like, yeah, like he had that rule relationship with God versus the
rules,
loving.
right?
Yeah.
Versus relational.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of children, I don't know. What brought this up, why I wanted to talk about it, is because we recently told Lincoln, our youngest, about shut your ears, children.
Yeah. Earmuffs, everyone. I think we talked about this before. Did we talk about this before? Let's talk
It's
about
okay.
it again.
It's
It's okay. You can hear about it.
We told Lincoln that there's no Santa because he lost a bunch of teeth, and we're like, oh God, this is gonna cost us a fortune. No.
Yeah, we're just trying to save some money on fake creatures. So
So
no more presents next year.
there's no Santa. We're done. Yeah, so we told him about no Santa, no Easter Bunny, all that stuff. And it's like, I think part of me wishes that we would have done that from the get-go. But then you have to, like, the reason we do it is to protect everyone else's kid that believes in it.
Yeah.
You know? Because I don't want my kid...
I see where you're coming from with that, but I don't give a shit.
I know you don't. But I don't want my kids going to school and be like, no, but there are kids that don't celebrate Christmas, unfortunately, or like any holidays. Jehovah's Witness.
Jews do not celebrate Christmas either.
Yeah.
So.
That's true. So they don't have like a Santa.
Yeah, and just some people. Yeah.
They're so holy.
I mean, the whole Christmas thing in general is just like such a sham, bro.
It really
Let's
is.
buy everyone 1,000 million gifts and be stressed out. It's like the highest suicide rate of the year is around Christmas time because everyone just can't fucking handle. Excuse my language. Sorry, I get really passionate.
Yeah,
they can't flip and handle it, and it's like, I got fired right before Christmas. Like, dude, evil, man.
Evil. I just think
I got to see the post of him paying $4,000 for someone else's Christmas. Like, oh, dude, what a coincidence! You saved $4,000 on my employment this year.
Oh.
Just kidding. I still love you. Still pray for you every day.
Oh, it's that firing. Yeah, I thought I was thinking of your other job. Anyways,
I get fired a lot, apparently.
well, yeah. Anyways, so we told him about that, and then I was thinking like, oh, being a parent is so tricky. But
it is. Well, because we're just kids.
We
We
didn't want Lincoln or any of our kids to be like, well, if there's no Santa, then I can't see Jesus, so there must not be a Jesus either, and that's definitely not what we believe. But yeah, so that's what got me thinking we should talk about this on our podcast. And I think we're on the same page as far as like, do you force your kids to go to church and all that stuff? Were you forced to go to church as a kid?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
Do you have such trauma, PTSD, that you can't remember? Or
No, but It's interesting because you were in part forced not to go. I feel like there's these three brackets. There's like people who are like actively, or maybe four. There's people actively against God, who don't want their kids to love God. There's people who are just like, well, I don't know, man, whatever is whatever, and do whatever you want, bro. And then there's people who are like Christians who send their kids to church but don't go to church themselves. Like that would be like Will's family. Where his parents didn't go to church, but they sent their kids off to church every day.
That's weird.
Yeah, or not every day, every Sunday. And then there's people like...
So they stayed home while their kids went to church? What the heck?
Well, they might have been working or doing stuff too. Like they work, they're a really hardworking family. So like his dad, hardcore dude, like always chopping wood or building something or like doing concrete. And he's a hustler for sure. And then my family was like... came to church with me, so we all went together as a family.
Okay.
Like us.
My family wasn't like against me going to church until, my dad was like open to anything, but I'll never forget the comment he said to me when I did start going. And if you're on here, Dad, I love you and I don't have any resentment whatsoever. But he said, I'd rather you sell yourself on the street than go to church. And I was just like, oh, I didn't know he felt that way. So that was
That's
kind of...
so weird.
I know.
That's such a weird thing to also say. Like... Is that really...
I bet you anything, if I were to bring that up now, he would say, there's no way I said that. Because my dad is not like that. He's very...
I love your dad too, and I don't expect he'll watch this podcast. But if you do,
he'll watch the live for sure. He's probably on right now. I can't see anything.
I do love you, but he is very adamant about anything he believes. He's very passionate and hardcore about it. And it might be like fluctuating, like water flowing or whatever. Like he might be, but when he has an opinion about something, that's it. That is the opinion, and if you don't agree with it or you don't think about it, you are wrong. And he might...
Well, with church, it was different. He was like that when I was a kid, when he would...
Well,
but he still let me go to church, and I still went to youth group. And then now he came to church with me. I remember sitting there.
Well, he
and
never physically... I don't think he ever
came
tried
to church.
I don't think he... No, now. But I don't think he ever tried to control anything you guys did. No. I don't think any of the kids had like any kind of like... Yeah.
Like forcing us to do stuff?
Yeah, anything. No. I think you were just kind of like, if that's what you want to do, cool, do it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And that's fine.
And when I remember...
But that comment.
I don't get it because it's not my dad at all. It's something I will never forget. And
What if you did? What if you did?
Is he on here? Oh my gosh. He's probably like, what is she talking about? No.
Actually, I wouldn't even see it.
Yeah. No. I don't know. It's part of my testimony though. And if I didn't have that push, I never rebelled against my parents. Like I never wanted to, I always had a great relationship with both of them. So it wasn't like my dad doesn't want me to go to church, I'm going to church. It wasn't like that. I really went to church because of my friends. I had friends that did it. And then the way that they did it in Rocky Peak, like back in the day, it was super fun. And it was like a youth group and it was loud and just games all the time. So they hooked you that way. And then you had the message, and the message was always like hit at your heart at the right time and the moment. You're fine, Julianne, you can come out. And then I went to a youth group.
Our daughter's walking through the room right now.
Dun, dun, dun.
And talking to, and Jasper is following right behind her.
You're a commentator too.
Yeah. Continue.
I went to a youth group. My parents paid for it. They never resisted me going to church, but I think I grew up in probably one of the perfect situations because I wasn't forced to go to church. I wasn't forced not to go to church. Or no like weird political views were pushed on me. It was literally just like your decision. If you do that, we're all for it. And I think I don't really I would never want to force our kids to go. I don't force Juliana to go to church with us. And a lot of times I'm like wishing that she was there and sad and all this stuff. But at the same time, it's like, I want it to be her decision. But our little kids that are too young to make those choices, I feel like you're going to church.
I think that's how it was with me growing up. When I was younger, too young to really make good decisions alone at home, I was forced to go. And then once I got older, when I really put up a stink, I think it was when, man, you and technology don't mix.
I know.
When I
should know this stuff being a social media influencer. No, I'm just kidding. I don't.
When I was old enough and I put up
a
stink about it, I didn't have to go. And then there was a point where I was driving and I was old and I was like, I just don't like the churches you guys are picking. And so I actually did go to different churches without my parents to see like what else is out there.
I think that's really cool too.
That is good because my mom doesn't. I don't like the churches my mom likes. Her churches are very close to Catholic, and nothing against Catholic churches. Actually, a lot against Catholic churches, but I am just not about that life. It's all rules. There's good people and there's good loving people, but the church itself does nothing more. It's just like a visual Bible. Like it's hard enough to read the Bible. And now I got to sit and watch that version of the Bible. Like,
yeah.
Hail Mary, give me the chase of a piece in the Jesus.
You're like Monty Python at church.
Yeah, it's just a flesh wound. It's not for me. But, even the Catholic, weddings are just like, ugh. Like I charge extra for those because they are awful. They're the worst. They're so bad. But anyways, if you love that, more power to you. Get your Jesus on if that's what you're all about. Awesome. I'm not gonna.
I think the biggest thing is just being an example to your kids. The reason I go, I was working every Sunday, so I couldn't really go to church, and you encouraged me. You said you can go to church and still work, and in my head I'm like, I don't want to work at night, and then I'm like, wait a second, church is so much more important than working 2 hours later than I normally would. So
thank you for giving me credit.
Yes,
you didn't have to do that, but you did. No, I love you.
It was one of those moments where, like what we talked about last week, where it's like, that's what a leader is freaking for. And that's a really beautiful thing to have in a husband, is someone who's going to say, put you straight and be like, you actually can go to church if you do this, this, and this. And it's like, oh, you're right. And then, not that I never thought about it, but I just thought I would be digging into family time and I'm going to get home late and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, I'd rather get home late and have my Jesus time. And I want my kids to see that too, to see how important it is that I chose to go to church versus get home at an earlier time. And I dug out time to make sure that this happens. Yeah. And I put my foot down at work, not like I didn't really have to do much, but
just like, I'm just come a little later, leave a little later. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. I don't do that much, but still, it's like they might not notice it now, but in the long run, it's in their system. They know that this is important to me. And I hate that our kids go to church and have such a hard time going into the kid zone. I don't want them sitting in church being on their phone. That is a big thing to me. Yeah. I want our kids to come to church, and if they want to sit in church with us, they're not going to be on their phones. They're going to listen to the message. And for a child, that can be really boring. Whereas they can learn the same message in a tone, more catered to their level if they go to Kid Zone. And every time, I always call it Kid Zone, like the gym, but every time afterwards, they're like, oh, this was so fun. It's like, oh, why do I have to force you?
You know what, though? I get that. I get where you're coming from. But a lot of my memory from church was laying my head in my mom or my dad's lap and having them scratch my head all church service. I didn't like kid zone. We went to weird small churches, and there were a bunch of weirdos in there, and I didn't like the people in the kid zone, or the and the messages for the kids were so weak, bro. Like our understanding is a lot better, and they just tell you like the heroic stories, and it's like these stories.
I think like
are
Cody's
dumb.
level, she's a little too old. She's still in the fourth grade one. Next year she'll move up, but yeah, it's a little too kiddish for her. So she's probably like, ugh, because her mentality is a little bit more mature than, because we don't raise her on like, let's watch Cocomelon and stuff like that.
Honestly, that's a huge deterrent for me as a kid when you're coming up, because they water it. They make it so kiddie and watered down. It's like, dude, get to the killings and the murders and make it badass.
Yeah.
Because the Bible is hardcore and badass. Just do that, because here's the attention you're fighting. You're fighting all the cool stuff that the world has to offer for our kids. Or then he went into the lion's den and the lions didn't even touch him and he was cool. And then he came out of the lion's den and God was like, yeah.
And my lips hurt real bad.
Yeah. My lips hurt real bad, Daniel.
Tina, eat your food, you fat lard. Sorry.
So, it's like, that's what I hate about the kids and like all the youth stuff. It's like the only thing, you really have to have kids that aren't weirdos. That's like a big thing. So you have to like encourage your kids to be the leaders in these groups. Like, dude, there's going to be weirdos. You need to be the cool kid that other kids can look up to and go, dang, they're a cool kid.
The cool church kid, yeah.
And then there's nothing wrong with weirdos. Like, as an adult, I love being a weirdo, and I embrace my weirdo-ness. But as a kid, everyone's terrified of being a weirdo or talking to weirdos or, like, catching it, That's
you should love the weirdos.
As a kid?
As a kid, yes.
I was terrified of weirdos, man, because I don't want anyone to find out that I was one.
I mean, like, you don't have to hang out with them after church, but like, show love to them too.
Bro, I don't know how you grew up, but it's way different from me.
I love all the weirdos.
As an adult, yes, I embrace the weirdos now.
Are you trying to reach for that?
I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any gin in it yet, though. This podcast brought to you by Ryan Reynolds, the only man I'd go gay for. Amen.
There's always one. I don't know who my girl is. Anyways.
Ryan Reynolds.
Jeez. Going to church.
I know. So inappropriate. Sorry, Jesus.
By the way, this is not a Christian podcast.
So we're allowed to say that. We're
allowed to talk about gin, okay? Because we're like edgy Christians. No. Yeah.
What if Jesus made gin? What if Jesus turned water into gin? Look, you couldn't even tell.
Am I drinking water?
We call this a dirty stevia.
So what do you do when your kid says they don't believe in God? Punch him in the face. Just kidding.
Punch him in the heart. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. They don't believe in God? If they were, I don't think a kid's bold enough to say that straight up. I don't believe in God. I think they would have to be like hardcore rebelling. Like my brothers definitely said that. Probably. I remember my oldest brother had a Bible, like a mini Bible in his car for a while. Maybe it's just usually when they move out. When they move out, they feel like more emboldened, or is that a word?
Emboldened? You just made a word. More emboldened?
Emboldened.
Okay, chime in if I can even read these comments. Is emboldened a word?
I'm pretty sure it's a word. Anyways, he became, and then now he's like, I don't believe in God, but there's something.
Something. The universe.
Guess what? It's God, you idiot. You just don't want to say it because it's not cool. You say God.
The universe thing is so annoying.
I get it, but it's like, dude,
yeah.
God, I'm saying the same thing as you are. You just don't want to call it God because it's not. You don't want to line up in the box of Jesus in the church and all that. It's like, it's the same thing,
it's the
dude.
Same thing.
I also described to someone that, I think, I don't want to get too controversial on.
do it. You do it on
I'm
Facebook
just,
anyway.
Well,
so.
like, okay, you're right. Lucas was fun as a kid. It's crazy weirdo with our family.
Is that your mom?
This is Penny talking.
Oh, Penny.
I appreciate him being weird now. He has one funny guy. Thank you. I try to be funny. So
I don't need to look in the comments because you have them right there.
Yeah. Oh, if you can see him.
I can't.
Yeah, it's pretty. I think the way to zoom in. Let me see. Please hold.
All I want to do is zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. Just shake your rump. All I want to do is zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. Did you know that means sexy time?
Dude, I would love to zoom in your boom,
Oh,
boom.
Lord, I shouldn't have said anything.
Anyways. Oh, no, I was just on. So God is God, right? And like Jews believe in God, right?
They believe in God, but not Jesus, right?
They believe in Jesus. They freaking murdered him. But
well, they don't believe that he's...
They don't believe that he's a son of God.
Right.
And then...
Which, I'm reading the Bible. Sorry, you go ahead and then I'll chime in.
Who are the terrorists?
Don't forget.
The terrorists believe in God. Muslims, sorry.
Okay, that's controversial because they're not
the terrorists were Muslims.
Okay, but
Muslims
not all
are not
Muslims.
terrorists.
Yes, thank
so
you. Take that
I
back.
will clarify that
thank you.
Muslims are not. I'm not saying Muslims are terrorists, but the terrorists were Muslims. Okay, just like there's Christians that do murder, heinous things.
Yeah,
too.
they're terrible.
So I'm not trying to lump it in there. I just couldn't think of the name right away.
Okay,
And
I just want to make
popped up
sure
there.
that people
Yes.
know.
Yes, don't cancel me.
We do not.
Hashtag,
we don't.
hashtag
think that.
don't cancel me. But, and I believe it's all the same God. It's not a different God. It's just different. It's like Catholicism versus like our brand of Christianity, which is what? By the way, we don't even know. See?
Non-denom.
Yeah, we don't even denom that ish.
We don't. Because it's like a little mixture of everything. I don't really understand what that means because I only grew up in I only went to non-denominational, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Well, they have weird rules and stuff.
I don't want rules.
So Catholicism
Nobody,
is
who
like
wants rules?
Catholicism. A big thing is praying to Mary, which is like a weird thing. There's a lot of weird rules in Catholicism in general. That's just like, where does it say this in the Bible, bro? Like, where did you find this information? Because I can't.
Do they live by the Bible, or is it like a?
They live by the
separate thing?
Bible Plus.
Oh, they added.
Yeah, it's Bible Plus.
Bible Plus.
It's a subscription service. But yeah, and then all these different things like have different like ones like everyone speaks tongues and it's not even real tongues. It's just and it's like, what are you saying, dude? This is like confusing and weird. This is not of
Wait,
God.
so I didn't know that. You don't believe in speaking in tongues?
I do, but tongues literally translates to other languages.
Yeah.
You're speaking in other languages. It's not a freaking language. And you're not reaching anyone by saying...
How do you know? You could be speaking someone else's language.
My mom's big into that, and she said that she was in a group once and people were doing that, and she understood exactly what they're saying, and then someone else sitting next to her said, what are they saying? And I'm like, cool, bro, cool story. That works for 1 out of 500. It's not a very, like, this doesn't... It's weird. This is not... In the Bible, it was done to communicate with a group of people who did not speak the same language. We are speaking to many different languages. This is what tongues was in the Bible. Yeah. Whoever it was, Peter or Paul or John, one of those dudes was standing up and was like, actually, like, my name is Inigo Montoya, you know? and it talks about having a translator so that you're not alienating anyone else. You're speaking in tongues to these guys, but they're also translating what he's saying to other people at the same time. Because someone going...
I wish you guys could see his face. I can't fit him in there, so you just get me.
But that whole thing is like, more power to it if you do it, and if you're feeling the Holy Spirit while you're doing it.
I had one experience ever with speaking in tongues.
You were doing...
Me. And because I do think it's weird. I just don't have that like gift or whatever. But it was when a close friend was in Florida.
Love it.
Used to be her boss.
Okay.
And we were worried about his whereabouts. And it was in our old house. We were worried about him and his depression, his mental health. And I felt like I was just on my knees praying for him. And all of a sudden it just like, it was quiet and it just like happened. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
Are you sure you weren't having a seizure? Was this the time when you fell in the bathroom and I was like,
no, I said it was our other house. Anyways, I was really worried that he was going to hurt himself, you know? And so it just like came out and I was like, I don't know what that was. It was kind of cool, but at the same time, why? There's nobody else here that needs to
who
hear.
are you speaking to?
Who am I speaking to? I don't know. But
listen, yeah, and you know what? And I will say that there's things in life and in this world I don't understand. There's a lot of weird, crazy stuff. I'm not saying that that's not possible, or I just think that's freaking weird, bro. Yeah. It's freaking weird. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And catch me doing it. Well, I guess I did it like 17 times already today, man.
I wish you guys could see us.
Anyways, not to
you have to watch the YouTube.
And if you're doing, if
that's not incentive, I don't know.
If you do it and like you're for real, like more power to you. I'm not trying to shame you or insult you, or I'm not trying to say that it's not a real thing. I just think it is totally weird.
I think it's a real thing, but less circumstantial than people make it. I think
your experience was like once in a thing. If you're doing this consistently every single day, I think you are a weirdo.
Husband in the world. You are a weirdo.
Sorry, not sorry.
You're done.
Hashtag you're done. Yeah. Anyways, this is the podcast about speaking in tongues, apparently. What were we talking about?
The raising children in faith.
Yeah. I don't even know.
So I've been reading I don't understand absolutely nothing against Judaism, but I've been reading the Bible. Yeah. Trying to do it like within a year. It's going to be like a year and a half, but no big.
Love it. Yeah. So are you doing the back and forth version where you're like yes. old, new?
Old, new.
Okay.
And, oh, wow. Reading the Old Testament is such a friggin' drag. Like,
dude, you're probably behind me because I'm doing straight Old Testament to New. Because it's like at the end of the year, you're just like, oh, it's good now. But yeah.
Okay. I freaking hate the Old Testament.
Do you know what chapter you're in right now?
I'm in Leviticus.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm like 5 chapters ahead of that.
Like, why do we have to hear about blood boils and sin offerings? And it's just crazy. It's crazy to me that people would want to like live that life still without Jesus coming to like, we're done with that. We're done with that stupid crap.
Which is weird because Jews don't do that.
Right.
They don't do all that stuff anymore.
There's some things like they don't eat pork or something.
Yeah, they don't mix fabric, wear pork and stuff, and they cover their head and all that, the yarmulke. But a lot of it, they've evolved and they don't do the things that are in their book. That's so
interesting. I would love to talk to a Jewish person to hear.
Well, and like, dude, without the New Testament, the Bible is brutal, bro.
Yes. Why would anybody want to live that life?
There's tons of like books where they're like, and then we killed everyone in the city and we stacked the men to the left and the children and the women to the right, and they put their heads on stakes, and like we only let and we only let the prostitute live because she let us stay in her house. And that's in Joshua.
That's Old Testament, Joshua?
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's one of the Moses' son, his son, I think, something like that.
It's so funny that you know like so much more about the Bible than I do, because I've been like.
You have a passion for God that I could never have. I have an understanding.
Well, that's kind of how we are with life too. You're very factual and you like, and I'm just like,
I like to know things, and I like to reread things, and I also like to hear pastors talk about something that I know, and then to hear their take on it or what they took. It's so interesting to hear what some other, even though the pastors usually aren't like telling their actual take on things, it's usually like a prescribed take, and then they're like morphing it.
One of my favorite sermons that Pastor Marco has done so far is when he talked about the end of the world and how like,
dude, I can't wait.
Come on, Jesus.
Hashtag end of the world, baby.
How he talked about like a lot of people think that because what's happening?
No, I'm just trying to read.
A lot of people grew up thinking that like the end of the world, we're all going to be already saved. but the Bible doesn't promise that or something.
No.
I'd have to look at my notes. It doesn't promise
I don't
that
think-
we're, we could go through all that turmoil
And
with them, but
dude, people talking about the rapture and all this stuff like they have any idea like what it's going to be like is nuts to me, because if you read Revelations and all that, it is so ambiguous and weird, and like people are just reading into stuff, and it's like what I read is that we're going to go through some crazy stuff. There's a beast, and there's a guy who feeds the beast, and he's like, hey, you come over here, and I've got a freaking nail in my head, and it's like all this weird symbology.
and it never says that we're going to be taken up before that, right?
I don't know if it does or doesn't off the top of my head. I can't remember, but
Yeah.
I know that like
We're not like the ones.
it's
that
it's a super confusing, because it's really just like a dream of like a vision from one of the disciples, I believe. It's like he was like just envisioning what it was like in the signs and stuff like that. And also, what's really funny, oh my gosh, I've been watching South Park from beginning to end, and they had an episode about the red heifer. So it's a biblical thing, which I don't remember ever reading in the Bible, but it is a biblical thing where when the red heifer is sacrificed, and there's like all these rules and stuff, or whatever, but it's like the sign of the end of the world is coming, and they had that in South Park, and I was like, this is so funny. I wonder if this is true. And then like later on Facebook, and a thing comes up that was talking about that prophecy and how we're actually to a point where they actually have like 7 of these red heifers right now, and there's like rules like they can't be touched or leaned upon or used to plow or anything like that. And so they have like, and if they make it to being sacrificed in this special way,
what if it's just some weird religious people that like made a red heifer?
That's what the South Park is about.
Oh, okay.
They make fun of that.
Here's the red heifer. Do you remember when Y2K? Sorry,
yes,
go ahead.
Yes, I was very stocked up in my household.
Are you serious?
Yes,
you
my
did
mom.
that.
I didn't. My mom did that.
Oh, I can see your mom doing that.
My mom is
for
a
sure.
very end of the world, which is like, it's so, I mean, I understand prepping because I want to stay, I prepped, and I want to stay like knowledgeable about how to survive after the fact. And the clay's a really good thing with foraging, and I have my growing and preserving experience that I'm building up right now, and alcohol, which is probably the most important.
Yes, because I want to be wasted when
when the world's going down, Schwazy.
I'll still love Jesus, but I'll be like,
I'm
all right,
tank.
let's go.
Praise.
Let's go.
I'm just gonna praise the Lord and hallelujah.
Hello. We're so bad.
Hey man, Jesus has a sense of humor. Otherwise,
He
why
sure
would?
does.
Otherwise, farts. I mean, dude.
You just made me geezer laugh. I can't handle you. You're too much for me.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
verklempt.
Are you Jewish now?
Yes.
I'm verklempt. Oh gosh, do you think the prices on this Zevia? It's going up. That's not. All right, I want to make clear that I'm not making fun. I'm not making fun of Jewish people. I'm making fun of the character on South Park that's making fun of Jewish people. So
That's
it's different.
so much better.
It's different.
I'm gonna pee my pants. Oh my Lord.
Anywhoozles. So end of the world, bring it on. I'm ready.
Stop trying to burn our freaking
I'm
basement
sorry.
down.
Listen,
Give me that later.
I have a passion for the end of the world because I want to be in a world without electricity, internet, and all that stuff. And it sucks because so many people will die from that because so many people are useless humans. And it sucks that we've got to a point where there's like,
How am I supposed to be a social media influencer if we lose electricity?
just send out letters. Smoke signals. Buy this dress. But I really do. I really like want to. I crave to be in a world where I can connect with humans on this level all the time instead of like this behind the wall fake bull crap. And we've gotten away from like men being strong providers and role models and all this, and it's like a lot of men can't do what men are supposed to do. And so like probably 50% of the population would die off in that scenario, and that I don't crave. But I do crave just like we're like, all we do is take care of each other. We get water. We harvest food. You know, we get deer or animals or whatever, and grow crops. And
You guys will be doing that, and I'll just be like trying on clothes. Hey guys.
you're just gonna get a mirror up in the woods.
I know there's no more Macy's that like burned to the ground, but you want to buy this dress.
I'll trade 3 pine cones. This one's only 3 pine cones.
I'll just merchandise all of the
this
all the
next
carts.
pair of stilettos here.
Your corn goes
Now,
on the top.
do you know there's
shelf.
hammers called stilettos?
Sounds familiar, but
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Apparently they're the best of the best. So we can both.
anyways,
we can
I'm
both own a
worthless
pair.
if the end of the world comes. So
You are.
just use me for my meat.
Hey
Give
yo,
me permission.
you are not useless. You have a lot. You're very. You're. Everything I'm thinking to
Yeah.
just describe it just
Yeah.
sounds. It sounds really lame.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're very loving, nurturing. You take care. You
I'll
can
take
plan.
care of the children.
You can make sure that I stay on track and
Yeah.
and do stuff and yeah.
I mean, if I don't have a job, like, I'll
Yeah.
have time to like homeschool our kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Bible study. Now every day's church,
Yeah.
suckers.
Every day is church.
But anyways, yeah, I think that it is a weird dynamic for whether to make your kids go to church or not go to church. I think it's more about providing a good Christian example
Yes.
at home, and then church is like, I don't know.
One of my biggest prayers, especially when I was a single mom, was like, God, wherever I am failing, please take over, because I suck most of the time at being, a good example of Jesus, especially unfortunately at home, because that's where I let loose the
Hey,
most, and like where sometimes I get angry easier, or I don't want to, I get impatient, and it's like, my kids are freaking seeing this. I'd rather somebody else see this side of me than my kids, because I want to be an example of Christ. So my biggest prayer, like raising Juliana and now too, but I have you as well to like be that you're an amazing example to our kids.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So it's like where I fail, please just like take over and make sure that this is not the only example that Juliana sees of a Christian, because I fail a lot, and I don't want her to think like being a Christian is a bad thing because of how I'm acting or reacting to certain things. So I think that's an important prayer for all parents.
I think the biggest thing is that people and our kids understand that Christians are not perfect.
Right.
And I think that that's a big downfall of a lot of people, is they try to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that seem like that's just who they are. They're really good at that. And I feel like I just feel like inside they're just lying.
Right.
And I hate that. And I know that I work on being better. I work on cursing less. And the other day I did shut off South Park in front of Lincoln, because I was
Thank you.
I was like, this is making my heart hurt a little bit just thinking about. But today he watched it with me, but it was friggin' hilarious. But the other one was like just too sexual and graphic, and like, it's funny as an adult, you can like set aside like the crudeness, but like him to see like certain things is just not cool for me.
Yeah.
Because he's so innocent, and let's keep him that way as long as possible.
He's so innocent. He loves Jesus so much. Yeah.
He does. He has a passion for God.
Yep.
Which is really good.
Have you ever
He's
had
more like you in that way, and Cody's more like me in that way. Like, she's down for Jesus, but she's not like, For those just listening, I made a smoldery face and touched my heart and put one hand towards Jesus.
the smolder?
Was that a smolder? Like, I'm
Have you ever had
constipated.
like a really hard question from the kids about religion?
No. I remember when I was young, and this is like a sign that like they were doing it wrong. Not my parents, but like the church and that we were going to. I broke down crying one time to my parents because I was like, I don't think I'm going to heaven, and it was like more a fear of going to hell than like loving God and feeling that passion. And that's like, it was all fear based, Like, it wasn't. I don't know. That was probably just me or the way my parents casually said it, because they're like you. They found God on their own.
Oh, both parents?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought.
No, they were not. They were both. Their parents are not Christians, or they might be now, but they weren't. They were atheists, and then they came to God. And so they were in the same situation as you, kind of like, what do we do? Do we force them to go, or whatever? And that's what they did. And they ended up being a terrible example of Christians. Cheating, divorce, all this stuff.
Not now.
They're not bad people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, overall, it was like, why should I listen to you? You guys are screwing this up. Like, you're not doing it.
That's what I worry about so much with the kids.
But that's the point, though. It's that we are screwing it up. We will continue to screw it up forever. And we have a lot of knowledge to share with our kids besides God. But we're still figuring out, like, me as a parent 5-10 years ago, pretty sure I was a parent 10 years ago. Yeah, yes. Juliana counts. Oh my God. I had no idea. And that's kind of unfair for me and for her, because it was just like, bam, parent, Yes. And it was like
which we're going to get into on next season.
A sentient child. Like
sentient? Yeah,
because like when you first have a child, like you could do whatever you want in front of this baby, really, and they don't know, But Juliana's like 4 or 5 or whatever she was.
That's a sentient?
Sentient, like aware.
Oh.
Like we are sentient. I think a dog would not be sentient. I don't know. Correct me.
Sentient. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways.
You did come in at a tricky age.
Yeah. So it was like everything I did mattered right away. And I was a dirtbag. And then I had to be like a father or an adult, or father figure at least. And I was like, dude, I made a lot of mistakes. And I still make mistakes. But it's like when you start from a baby.
Mm-hmm. That's all they know is.
It's like, okay, like. It's also weird, dude. Kids, I'm just like on a tangent. Woo, all over the place. But like Cody and Lincoln were just way different as babies. Like way different. Like Cody was just like cool. Like I was just with the kids.
You mean Cody versus Lincoln, not Cody and Lincoln versus Juliana.
No, I don't know what Juliana is a baby.
Right.
But Cody and Lincoln.
They were totally different babies.
And it's so weird. Yeah. Wow.
Well, hello. Oh, was it a comment?
Yeah, no, it was someone Facebook messaged me.
Oh,
I don't think it went through to the whatever. Why are we talking about this? Anyways, yeah, it's just weird. They're so different.
It is crazy how different they come from the same people, but they're completely different.
And they were raised somewhat similarly from the beginning. Like, yeah, I was home with all of the kids as they were born. Yeah, wow. I was like a stay-at-home dad, basically.
Stay-at-home dad.
Actually, Cody, I think I had a job. Did I have a job?
Working from home.
Was I really when she was born?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Lincoln, same thing.
Yeah.
Dang.
Look at you. Killing it.
Killing the game, bro.
I know how to do that thing.
Lucas smacked his fingers like a can of chew.
We're back to that again.
Dude, oh, I got spit. Oh, could go. Everyone at work chews too, and I'm just like, oh.
I remember one thing, and then I think we can be good. But one thing Juliana said one time, because I don't want to get into like any of her health issues, but it was kind of like, well, I believe in God, but this is not like he's not fixing this, and I was like. Well, that was one of the trickier questions that I had to like literally before I answered her, just what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? And it was like, not that I said the exact right thing, but I hope that it got into her is that God doesn't just fix things. He's not like our doctor where he just prescribes you medicine and you're fixed and you're healed and stuff. He will guide you into the right direction on how to deal with that issue. And yes, certain times you do heal from things and there are miracles, there are things like that, but God isn't there to just be like your genie, I want this fixed. And I think kids have that mentality of like, oh, God is going to just do everything I want and everything I say and whatever I pray for, I'm going to get. And trying to make God appealing to children but also telling them that doesn't mean you're going to get what you want in life.
Right.
It's something we as parents have to be an example of that.
I think it's because kids and sometimes adults are innately selfish. And they think, and they get this model that everything should be given to them and I deserve everything. I exist, therefore, give me. Mm-hmm. And a lot of adults are like that too. Like, okay, well, if God's real, then why did my dad die at a young age?
That's a really hard one to explain to kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like when you become a parent, you should realize that you created this life through God. But if you don't believe in God, I created this life. Does he get everything he wants from me? Does bad things happen to him? My child. Does, Juliana has a cat. She's a cat mom. Okay. That little shit, excuse my French, pissed over everything all the time. Mm-hmm. Juliana, why didn't you save your cat from doing that? Why didn't you stop the cat from making those bad choices? Mm-hmm. Well, because you can't.
Yeah.
Because you can't. And so, I mean, sometimes you can help make choices like we got him fixed and hopefully this will prevent him from doing that in the future. But, it's not like that. It's not like God is just like controlling us and saving us. And if we all have a perfect life, that's like, you want a perfect life, go sit in a box, close yourself and never come out of that box again. Nothing bad will happen to you. Mm-hmm. You'll make it through life.
That's not a perfect life. That's like a safe life. Whatever. That would be very imperfect.
Yeah, you wouldn't be having a great life. But, or like plug yourself into the Matrix, and you live in a fantasy land because that's like God gives us free will, lets us do what we want. He cannot also control us at the same time because you have to be free to make choices. And a lot of these bad choices or these bad things that happen to you are caused by other people making bad choices against you or you making bad choices, which is a lot of stuff. Like a lot of stuff happens because we prioritize like joy now. Like we eat something or we smoke cigarettes, which we know is going to kill us. We know cigarettes are bad and they're going to poison us, but we're like, yeah, but I feel good right now. Let's do that. That's okay. I'll worry about the cancer later. And it's like,
and then it comes and you're like, God, why are you doing
this to me, God? Well, through the past 30 years, you've smoked a pack a day. So, that's, and now like, whatever, like have fun, enjoy life and stuff, but you should be living for something other than yourself. And but it's not God, make it your kids, make something, but I would encourage you to find God. Because he deserves it. He deserves all the praise and glory. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. But he deserves it. Just like my kids freaking should be grateful for all the nice things I do for them. Yeah, I don't need it, but it would feel kind of nice.
It feels good when they're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like Juliana's been saying thank you to a lot more than she ever did. And it just like, it's 2 little words, but it's just like, oh, she appreciates me.
One word in Spanish.
Gracias.
If you want to save time.
But gracias, thank you, more syllables.
Oh, but
why
it rolls.
I clap? Why did I have to clap?
But it rolls off the tongue.
Gracias.
Ooh. I can't roll my R's. There's Mexicans that can't roll their R's too.
I'm sure there are.
Sad.
Big sad.
I can never learn the language fully.
All right. To summarize. Be an example of Christ to your children. Don't force them, but
also force them.
This is our opinion.
Yes, we are not financial advisors.
But also if they're like...
So that's what it looks like.
10 and under, you force them. Not just
Yes.
You force them.
Yep.
You force them. What was that
Kick
code?
the Jesus.
Kick the Jesus.
Wait, no, kick the devil. Punch the Satan.
No, yeah, don't kick Jesus.
Why are you kicking Jesus?
I'm sorry, Jesus.
Don't kick Jesus.
Punch the devil.
He'll
kick
stop
the Satan.
He'll turn your foot into wine. Don't think he won't. You don't want to drink my foot wine, though.
Oh, no.
Anyways, this is our last episode of
for the
season.
Don't get sad. Don't be crying.
All right. So this time,
what?
It's not see you next Tuesday.
It's not. See you next season.
Yeah, Kuns. See you next Tuesday season.
You guys have no idea what it's like to be married to this. my cheeks hurt all the time, and my tummy. I should have rock hard abs being married to you.
They're gonna say your other cheeks. My cheeks hurt all the time, and my cheeks.
And my other cheeks.
I'll see you guys next season.
We love you. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.